Hey, hey, my, rock and roll will never die. Oh, there's a bit of tuning up in me singing. Pretty crap. I get that. I enjoy singing in the shower. So, look, just got out of the shower, and 7 o'clock, and out, get a quick cup of coffee, I've had breakfast, and into it for the day. It's bloody cold up here this morning, Maleny. I didn't want to get out of bed, but man, Carl's my wife, and Damien, our son, dropped off Zach, the grandson, and so had to get it done. So, pretty big day today, Monday, and we'll see how we get on. Whew. Geez, these heat lamps are good in these bathrooms. Put a bit of BO spray on. Last one of these is a stinking little mongrel. And yes. But look, I'm not going to go on too much about this morning. I've got at least 3 lawns to do today, potentially 4, and one's 2.5 acre lawn, one of my very regulars. Probably the best lawn I do, bar none. Look at that out there. What a beautiful morning. It's as clear, and I don't really think I've got much to say. Quickly get the mower and that loaded on. I've got fuel. I'll run the grease gun over it when I get out there, because I carry my grease gun all the time. And it's all go. Oh, it's cold. I just don't know if I feel like this. And what are we? Oh, we're 10 past 7. I better go. Double thumbs up for Sveno and Mick. It's been a good weekend. Had a real good weekend. Didn't get everything done that I wanted to. Tuned up mates, put a new carburetor, a new TMX McKinney on mate's KTM 300, early model 1991 or 1992 KTM 300 that he's restored. He had a flat slide on it, key hin, but it was worn out, and bike's just been completely rebuilt, completely, whole bike. It's on the Sveno Mick, and it's just not running good at all. So I just got on the McKinney Oz up at Townsville, told them what it was. They jetted it to what they reckon. Then they shot us in a few spare jets either side of the main jet. I think it was a 370 they put in. 370 or 270? Oh, yeah. And anyhow, I think it's maybe a 370. Can't remember. I looked at it, pulled the cap off and had a look. They actually just pulled the screw out, the little, not the whole bowl. And I had a quick look in there. We left that in there. Needle set at half. Pilot jet didn't even touch because they said it'd be right. They'd set it up. They set the float level and everything up for it. They tested all that, and yeah, it's we bolted it on, and I set the air screw up 1 1/4 turns out. Throttle response was good all over. So done a acceleration test, response on the throttle straight off the bottom, up in the high RPM department, running an oils fuel mixture, not that that's got much to do with it, running at 40 to 1 on me myself, I'd run a little bit more in the oil department than that, but he runs at 40 to 1. No, admittedly it's water cooled, so it's a pretty modern engine, so I suppose it's a pretty modern engine, power valved and everything, so not like the old air cooled girls. And he runs Moto Rex. I run Moto 800 in my two-stroke, my IT 490 at 32 to 1. And maybe it's a bit of an overkill, but it's a big air cool 500, so she's actually 500 cc's because she's on last oversize. It's a YSK piston in it, forged piston. But look, I'm not going to go on much about it. Had a little play. Basically, probably he was wrapped with it because he said it was barely running before. Carby was just worn out. So what did we do? I ended up adjusting the air screw out to just a tad over 1.5 for the pilot, for the air screw side of it, and they were spot on with the pilot jet, clean, running clean as, completely through the rev range. I'd done off the bottom, I got it and rode it, and we went out the forestry and rolled her on hard, like an acceleration test up until about half to a bit over 2/3 throttle, dropping back to an idle beautifully, idle perfectly, and then flat stick, full throttle on the main jet, running as crisp as, and then going all through the rev range, no dead spots, no nothing. Probably if it was mine, I'd probably take the clip up one, so bring the needle down one. It's set in the middle, I'd probably bring it up one, and so that takes the needle down to just lean it off a tad on the needle. But my mate Core was completely 100% happy with that. He just said it's just like a totally new bike. And I said, a bit of Svenson tuning, what would you expect, mate? That's the way I operate, that's how I roll. Just joking, but no, it's good. So pulled the plug out, had a look at that. Perfect colour, not running lean at all over any of the rev range. When it drops back to an idle, just drops back, doesn't lean out. Admittedly, the conditions were perfect yesterday, it's fairly cool, so be interesting to see in the hotter weather. So I said, look mate, we'll just leave it at that, because if we leaned it out a tad on the needle, and the conditions were quite cool yesterday, so if it warmed up it might lean out a tad, but anyhow. We'll take a few plugs out when we go for a ride, and she'll be a test and tune day next time out, and we'll see how she goes. But that's a double thumbs up with my mate Core on his KTM 300 1991, which is an absolute beautiful piece of machinery. I couldn't believe how good it was. Absolutely stunning bike to ride. Suspension's perfect and plush. Seats nice and thick and soft. Front brake's good. Back brake's too touchy. Power delivery's nice and lineal. No massive stupid hits. Like you roll her on. Very much, they were very much so, but more refined than the IT 490 I got. It probably gives a harder hit. It's fair bit torquier, but very similar lineal power to it. So effectively you can hoist the front wheel first, second, third, and in the right conditions you'd hoist her in fourth, no worries, just under acceleration. Whereas the IT in the right conditions, it'll probably do it in every gear bar fifth. That 300's a 5-speed, so yeah, she's a good machine. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I better get to work. It's 7:15 almost. Sveno Mick from Svenson's Mowing and Grounds Maintenance. Sveno Mick out.